Hello there, this is Maria Esposo. This week for bio225, I will be showing you my lab experiment, my salt tolerance and pH testing lab experiment. I'm going to take my S. cerevisiae nutrient broth and I'm going to pass it through the flame. Set it aside, and I'm going to take my S. cerevisiae live culture and pass it through the flame as well. I'm going to take my pipette and take a few drops of the cerevisiae and add it into each cerevisiae nutrient broth. And I'm going to do this to all the nutrient broth for this S. cerevisiae, the one with 15% NaCl, 7% NaCl, and 1%. And I'm going to set it aside and prepare it for incubation. And I'm also going to do this for the S. epidermidis live culture. I'm going to add it into the nutrient broths. And these are my prepared nutrient broth. And I'm going to incubate them for 48 hours. After 48 hours of incubation, these are the results. Starting on the left side, we can see the S. epidermidis with the 1% salt test has very little turbidity. So I want to call it a possible positive result. And then as for the S. epidermidis with 7% and the S. epidermidis with 15% salt, it looks like there's no turbidity at all, so I would call that a negative result. And the final three S. cerevisiae with the 1%, 7%, and 15% looks like there was a development of turbidity and cloudiness. It's a little bit white and clear results, so I would call those positive. So 3 positive S. cerevisiae results, 1 positive S. epidermidis, and 2 negatives for the S. epidermidis. I have taken 6 nutrient broth and have labeled 3 of them as S. epidermidis and 3 of them as S. cerevisiae. I have also labeled them as pH 5, 7, and 9. The pH 7s are on the left side, separate from the pH 5s and 9, because for the pH 5 and 9, I'm going to add their appropriate amount of hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide to reach their proper pH number. I'm going to take the pH 5 of S. epidermidis and pH 5 of S. cerevisiae and flame the tip and add hydrochloric acid, 1 drop, to each of them. I am going to take the pH 5 S. cerevisiae tube, flame the tip, and add 1 drop of the hydrochloric acid into it. I'm going to flame the tip. After preparing my pH, I am going to take the active culture of the S. cerevisiae and add 2 drops into the S. cerevisiae pH nutrient broth tubes that are prepared. My salt tolerance pH test is all set. All the tubes are prepared, and I'm going to incubate them for 24 hours. After 24 hours of incubation, the pH results are as follows. The S. epidermidis with the pH 5, 7, and 9 also show very little turbidity. I could possibly say that the pH 9 with the S. epidermidis is a positive because it kind of looks like there was some growth development. But as for the S. cerevisiae, for these three, for the pH 5, pH 7, and pH 9, we see a lot of growth. Like, it's very turbid, it's very cloudy, and there was growth that resulted in that. But as for the S. epidermidis, very minor growth for that. So I would say that with the pH 5 and 7, those are negative results. The pH 9, I would say it's a possible positive result. And as for the three S. cerevisiae, they are all positive.